The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
And three, two, one. We're live. Thank you everyone for your patience. We are live. It is Powtoon's latest edition, our live office hours, and we're so excited that all of you are joining us today. We're going to give everybody a couple of moments to get online. We had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people register for this webinar. We're so excited to host you guys to learn how to get more from your videos. What is office hours? Every 2 weeks, Powtoon's customer success team holds office hours, a time where you can come and ask your questions about how to use Powtoon, how to get more from your videos, any kind of question you're dealing with or that you've got, or you just want to interact with the Powtoon team. We are here for you. That's what office hours are all about. Who's we? Let's do some introductions. That's me on the right. I'm Nick Liebman, head of content here at Powtoon, and with me is the regular host of office hours, Daniel Nathan, head of customer success, joining us from our London office. Hello, Dan Nathan, are you there?
I am Nick. Hello. Uh, really excited to be here today. Hello to everyone joining us from wherever you are around the world. You're very welcome. Very excited.
And speaking of that, if you can hear us, say hello right there in the question box. Let us know where you're joining us from. And also, let us know, do you have a question? Do you have a video creation, Powtoon platform, visual communication question that is plaguing your mind? Put that right in the question box. We've got a hello from Kevin, who's joining us from New York City. Welcome. We've got Beth, who's with us from Chelmsford,
Chelmsford, Essex, just round
Essex.
the corner from where we are right now,
There
Beth,
we
in London.
go. Wonderful. Sorry, I apologize, Beth. I know nothing of London and or of England. Jane is joining us. Good morning from Michigan. Mino, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, from Switzerland. We've got Andrea, who's joining us from McKinney, Texas. No questions, just excited to learn. Love it. Good evening from Tenya Cower, pardon my pronunciation. Chris is here. I can hear Dan, but I'm not sure if Nick is speaking directly into his mic. My apologies. Going to try and be sure I have as good mic position as I can here for that. Thank you for the feedback. We've got Latita, who's joining us from France. We've got so many people here. We've got
I think
Celia.
it's worth saying hello. Jad from Sydney
Yes.
has said hello. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Sydney is, I assume that's Sydney, Australia. I think it's like middle of the night, possibly 2 o'clock in the morning,
I
according to
believe
Google.
I believe that's right. Yes, so this is the committed bunch. We've also got Anthony from Reunion Island. We've got Besnik from Albania. We've got people from all over the world. And what are you here for? You are here to learn how to get more out of your videos. What does that mean? We're talking about getting more from your design, more from your characters, and more from the extensions, applications, and integrations that are available on the Powtoon platform. We will be answering your questions as we go. So don't hold back. Ask your questions in there, and we will be checking in. Either I or Dan will be checking in with that as we go. Shall we get started? Dan Nathan, are you ready? Shall we get started?
Let's do this.
Let's do this. Is everybody in the audience ready? You want to dive right in? I know you are. I'm just going to hop out of this presentation and hop over to, pardon me, and hop over to the Powtoon Workspace. Here we are in the Workspace, and the first thing, if you recall, we're going to talk about how to get more out of your design. And the place we want to start for that is here in the Workspace. We're going to talk about the templates that are available on the Powtoon platform. You, of course, can see some featured template categories, the new ones, the premium ones, most popular in virtual events, down right at the on this home page for your the dashboard page for your workspace, or you can go over here to the templates and you can choose a template. Of course, you can filter by these different tags up here. You can search directly for what you're looking for. All of our templates are professionally designed and optimized to get a great result. And you can, of course, preview them here as well to get a sense of what they're like. If that's what you would like, you can press edit and that opens it in the studio. Now, of course, templates are great for saving time and getting a professional looking video quickly, but they're also really good to inspire design. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So we're going to open up this company timeline template and we're going to edit it in the studio. This just takes a moment to open up in the Powtoon Studio. And you'll
Nick,
note,
whilst this is opening,
yeah,
sorry,
go
just
for it.
to quickly interrupt, we've got a few questions about quite a few people asking if this is being recorded. The answer is yes. This event, this webinar is being recorded, and you'll receive a copy via email, I think in the next 24 to 48 hours. That should
Absolutely.
answer a few questions.
Very true. Yes. So if that was your question, good news. We've answered that question. You will receive a recording of this webinar. I've opened our template and we're in edit mode. If you see where my mouse is up here, we're in edit mode. So this is to streamline the editing of templates. It's to save you time. But for what we're interested in today, we want to actually dig in and kind of pull these slides apart a little bit. So we're going to open create mode. Now that unlocks the Powtoon Studio, or sorry, the Powtoon library over here on the right, and it also unlocks the timeline down here at the bottom. This is where the magic really happens. One thing I'd love to show, I'm just going to turn the volume down on this real quick, is this timeline effect. I'm going to play through a couple of slides here just so that we can get a sense of the visual effect that this template shows us. And I'm going to press play. You can see we've got this date, we've got a line on the left, we've got a place to talk about this date, and then we advance, right? Everything sort of moves up. It's like we're sliding down the timeline, and each one of these items is sliding in. So let's take one of these slides apart to see exactly how this effect is achieved, right? So if I'm looking at the timeline, each one of these items on the timeline or groups of items on the timeline represent different things on the screen here or on the stage where you work in Powtoon. So let me just pull all of these apart. Now you'll also notice some of these things, for instance, have a little lock on them. Let's even just show one of those here. So this guy has a lock. If you click it, that unlocks it. All the lock does is keep you from moving something after you've got it in the right place. And so that's something, a lot of templates will come with some items locked. Again, that is just to make things easier for you in the editing process. I'm just going through again and looking for items with locks on them, and I'm going to unlock them for us so that we can just see how everything moves. Unlock, and then these 5 at the beginning, we've got a few that are locked as well. Unlock. Oops, come on. So that has an A to B effect on it, which is getting slightly in the way of my unlocking it, but that's okay. So let's look at each of these components. We've got our line. So this is just a line shape. You can see all of our shapes are available here, right? You could take a line, you can make it longer, you can change the colors, etc. So we've got our line, it's here, it's vertical, locked in place, right? So let's actually just go ahead and relock that so we don't make a mistake. And then we've got these dots, right? And they've got the A to B effect going. What's A to B? Dan Nathan, you've worked with A to B before, haven't you?
A to B is a fantastic effect. It basically allows you to move items from A to B. And the great thing about it is here you can see the example of it being done with an asset. You can do it with characters. You can do it with all sorts of different props inside Powtoon.
Exactly. So what this does, we can switch between A and B with this little guy. So we're taking A, this purple dot, and it's simply moving up to this second position to B. And it does it over the course of the first second and a half. This dark shaded section is how long it takes for the move to happen. So keep an eye on this dot and let's see what it looks like when it plays. So that's the A to B. Our line isn't moving, our line stays static, but it sort of feels like it's moving, right? Because everything else is moving up with it. This dark purple dot moved from the middle to the top. Our gray dot moved from this position to this position, and then a new gray dot has come up. That's our 3 dots that we can see constructed here, right? The next component of this, all of these items on the right are sliding in, and they're nice and dynamic. And you can see part of what's going on is their entry and exit effect right here. if you click that arrow, you can see where you can control all the entry and exit effects for the items that are on stage, whether you want them to swoop in from the left, from the right, go up, go down. You can have a hand drawing it, you can have it pop, you can have it fade, you can have no effect. There's plenty of reasons why you might want to do that. Or have it reveal from inside its little box. So not all the way from the edge of the stage, but from its position, right? You have a hand move it. All of those options are available for you. Also with text, you'll notice there are some additional text effects for words to appear, for a hand to write them, and things like that. So if we take a look here at this text, it does a similar movement to what this this square does, what this shape does. It enters up and leaves up. And with the combination of our dot moving with A to B, and with our text moving with its entry effects, and finally the last effect here, you'll notice our dark purple gets a check mark and changes to light purple. See that? This is really fun because it gives one more way to show that we're advancing, right? Our dots are moving from gray to dark purple, where that matches the text, to light purple with a check mark on it because we've already taken a look at it. So there's so much being communicated there with just a couple of shapes, a little bit of text, an A to B effect on the circles, and the entry and exit effects on the text. One more time just to see how that comes together. See, and then on the next slide, it's the same effect repeated, this time with different text, different images, different shapes, all that good stuff. So that is one way to get more from your design. Take a look at those templates. And by the way, if you see something you like, you can always save that one scene. Let me show you how you do that. When you click Scenes, you have the option Save Current Scene. Click Save Current Scene, and then in My Scenes, you'll see that it is added to your library there. If I ever want to use this scene again, all I need to do, in just a click, here I can add a blank slide to show you exactly how this works. Once it saves, come on. Well, you know who can show us more about scenes? Dan Nathan can show us a little bit more about scenes. He's got something there to show us, again, to go into depth, to tell us more about why scenes are so useful, not just to save your own scene, but for other reasons as well. Dan Nathan, are you there?
I am here, Nick. I'm going to take control of the screen, if that's okay. And let's see what we've got here. Okay. Okay, great stuff. So talking about scenes, actually. Nick mentioned before, he alluded to the fact that we have lots of templates, and you saw them before, and this is the template that Nick opened. And he also mentioned how you should spend a bit of time, if you like, educating yourself on the templates. By opening up a template and going inside it, you'll be able to see how Powtoon has manipulated certain shapes and objects to achieve a desired effect, like Nick showed you here with the check marks, if you like, moving up the screen. So we also have something similar in terms of scenes. So Nick mentioned how you can save each scene to your own personal library, so you don't have to find it again. You don't have to build it again each time. You can use it time after time after time to really streamline your video creation process. But I want to bring your attention here, okay, to these scenes. You just click on scenes, and you'll find here a load of pre-made scenes already. And we have lots of different scenes for lots of different situations, use cases, even different industries. We have some medical, pharmaceutical, construction industry scenes all depicted here throughout Powtoon. But if I'm going to, for the purpose of time, I'm just going to open up this scene here. Okay, so what is a scene? So a scene for Powtoon is basically a pre-made slide, if you like, that tells a story or can help to tell part of a story. But like everything else inside Powtoon, it can be manipulated as much or as little as you like. You can move objects You can switch objects around. You can swap them around with other objects in the library. Here, for example, you can see we have a character here sitting, two people having a chat with someone, I guess, on kind of like a webinar situation, just like we've got here. We've got a projector or a large screen TV here, and we have somebody being beamed or streamed onto the monitor so they can see. Now, all this is basically just lots of existing Powtoon assets, all of which you'll find inside our library that we've placed. Our designers have placed them into here to tell a scene. Now, the reason I mention scenes is, again, just like the templates, you can learn so much about how to manipulate and use Powtoon's assets to really give your creations a spark of awesomeness. So best example here is this character who's hiding here in the projector screen. Now, this is actually not a character in projector screen. This is just a character, okay, which we're going to go into a little bit more detail.
Look at that.
Very short. Exactly.
It's shocking.
How awesome is this? This is a character who we've placed on the scene. Now, what's going on here? Because here we can see his legs just behind this woman, and then here we can see him without any legs. That's just because all we've done here in Powtoon is simply, we'll just unlock this, it's locked because it's a scene, is we've simply had a background and added a shape from, we have a shapes menu here, if you like. We've simply added a shape here, matched the color of this shape to the background. So we have a fantastic color picker inside Powtoon where you can add all your own, if you like, your own branded colors, your own company colors, if you like. If you have a hex code, you can pop it in there and then save it for future use. And then very quickly, you can, of course, change different colors if you like. But here, we're going to keep this the same color as the background. And therefore, it all looks like it's one scene. So this is how we've managed to sort of hide this character's legs. But what we've also done as well is used Powtoon's arranging functionality or layering, I like to call it.
This is so important. I really, sorry to interrupt, Dan. Nathan,
no, not at all.
This is so important, and it really is. Once you get the hang of moving through the layers and catching that detail, you can really add depth to your visuals. So sorry to interrupt. I also have a couple of questions that came through right at the end of my earlier section and have been coming through here. So when you're ready, I would love to address those as well. Don't worry, Arham, Fatima, we were going to get to it.
No problem at all. Thanks, Nick. And it's a great point you make, actually, just regarding depth. So this layering function, if you like, does give you the ability to add depth to your Powtoon, which of course then just creates so many more opportunities for creative inspiration and more sort of creative ideas. So so bottom line is take some time to go through some of these scenes, look at how Powtoon has built them, and perhaps take those ideas yourself and implement them into your own Powtoons, so you can achieve some great looking content using Powtoon as well. Nick, did you want to look at some questions?
Yeah, so Aram Fatima has asked a couple of really great questions here. First of all, there was the question, how can we put furniture in this Powtoon? And this is actually a really great scene to just mention. We've got that table there, we've got that chair. All of that can be found in the props menu. So over on the right, props, and then we've got all sorts of different props for all kinds of different settings and scenarios, including furniture for all those situations. So I hope that's good. People had mentioned my volume was a little low. I've boosted that here on my end. I hope that that's okay. Please let me know if I'm still too quiet. Also, there was a question that came through. That was from Simon, by the way. Simon, I hope you can hear me. Let me know. There was also a question that came through when I signed into Powtoon. There was, but the thing that there was a gift that I got. Sorry, pardon me. I'm reading this whole thing. It got a little cut off. I signed into Powtoon, and there was a gift that I got, but the gift does nothing, and it expires in 2 days. Actually, Aram, what that is a free trial of premium Powtoon assets and capabilities. And that lasts for a short period when you have a free account at the beginning of your account, so that you get a taste for some of what those premium features are all about. That's what the gift is. So I hope you do enjoy playing around with that. I hope that answers your question. And then Georgia Carmichael has a really great point. There are so many assets. What is the most effective way to search the assets and find exactly what you're looking for? And I think that it's just a good moment to point out there's a search field right there. You can search for what you're looking for, but you'll also notice before you search that they're categorized as well. there. But yeah, you'll find what you're looking for with the search. If you can't find that, you can certainly find it browsing. The other benefit too is that even if you can't find something within the props, you may be able to recreate it with shapes, or you may be able to use images or video to achieve that as well. And I think that's actually a really good uh,
Yeah.
point to kind of pivot and talk one last. I wanted to mention one last thing on
Can I
my
just
side.
mention something
Oh, please.
about assets we're talking about? Georgia was asking how to
Yes.
upload the furniture prop. We also have the ability in Powtoon to upload all your own media as well. So if you happen to have any clip art or any sort of PNG or JPEG files that you want to upload yourself that you may have created externally in Photoshop or something like that, or you've owned the rights to use them, you can upload those into Powtoon as well. So you can upload all your own media assets yourself. Just head over to the images, click on upload image, and away you go. You can upload a JPEG, PNG file, anything like that if you have your own stuff.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So I'm just gonna take back the screen share. One moment.
Jane just mentioned it works great to upload our own media. Love it. Great. Thank you, Jane.
Excellent. So I think you guys should be able, everyone should be able to see my screen now. I've got a blank slide up in the Powtoon Studio. Sorry. And just one other question Loressa was asking, are these new features free? So I'm not sure which feature you're talking about, Loressa, but the Move A to B feature is free. Many of the templates in the template gallery are available for free accounts. Some of them are available for premium accounts only. But the capabilities we talked about here, using create mode, all of the libraries, the timeline, locking, move A to B, all of that is available on free accounts as well. I want to just show you guys another great thing you can do is use images or video as a background for a slide. And let me show you what that looks like here. I just want to, let's say I want to use some beautiful stock footage. I don't have my own, that's okay, because I've got Powtoon, I've got story blocks, I've got some premium images, I've got video footage here, something nice and simple. You can see, you can hover your mouse over these and see a preview. You can see how long the clip is. And of course, like Dan just mentioned, you can upload your own MP4s. You can upload your own images. But let's just go ahead. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to trim the video to match the length of our slide. Our slide is 6 seconds long. And you'll notice, even though this is a 13-second video clip, it's showing us seconds 0 through 6. If I want to change that, I can click here, Start Time, have it start a couple seconds later. Now it's starting from 3 and going to 9. So that's just a way to deal with that. But one thing we notice now, this text is a little difficult to see because we've got all of this live action video going. In fact, if I play it from here, yeah, we lose a little something, don't we? But there's a way to get that back. Let's see here, shapes. Here's a basic shape. I'm just going to add this here. I'm going to make it this length. I'm going to make it a little bit more transparent. Take that opacity down, and I'm going to move it, arrange back. Now we have our video and it's still visible, but our text is just so much clearer because we've got this transparent overlay underneath it. It makes it much easier, much clearer to see. So that's another way to boost your design and to add a level of dynamism and some of the particulars of how that works. Again, that's available for a free account as well. The premium images and footage here will only be available for a premium account, but you can of course upload your own even if you have a free account. All of that wonderful stuff. I know that I had Simon says slightly better on the sound. Good enough. Good. I'm glad, Simon. Sorry about any difficulty there. And let me just move to, boom, boom. Oh, here's a great question. Where did it? I just saw it. Pardon me. Thanks for your patience while I fumble around this interface, everyone. Works great to upload your own media. Love it. Wonderful. Can I animate part of the logo? Ehab asks. You can, Ehab. That's a great question. I think what you mean when you're importing your own images, can you animate it? You can certainly take full advantage of those entry and exit effects we talked about. You can use that A to B feature. You could import a GIF file, an animated GIF file, and that would play in a loop, and if that had some animation in it, that could be a part of it as well. But I saw a question about characters and about diversity, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen, the next item on our list is how to get more from your characters. The first thing I want to show you is the look chooser. We have 5 looks at Powtoon, and this is also a great way to bring some visual coherence to your video. What's Modern Edge? Modern Edge is a collection of characters, shapes, props that all are in basically the same visual language, right? That sort of young, hip, professional, doesn't take itself too seriously, but is here to grind and get the work done, right? That's a bit of a collection there. It's not overly cartoony, but it doesn't take itself too seriously. Let's talk about whiteboard, right? If you want to explain a process, if you want to train someone, if you want to show exactly how things are put together, literally draw it out for people, whiteboard style is for you. And again, a single visual vocabulary. You're going to have your characters and your props and the scenes that are available and the backgrounds all speak a similar language. Cartoon, right? Something that's a little more goofy and playful, perhaps, not appropriate for every situation, but very effective at engaging an audience, right? Especially if someone has a lot of defenses up or a lot of objections, or maybe they're, skeptical that that it's even worth their time to pay attention to your messaging. This is something that, cartoon, triggering that childhood conditioning. We all grew up watching cartoons Saturday morning, enjoying a bowl of cereal and just enjoying watching cartoons. People get that same feeling. And the beauty is your message sneaks in while they're enjoying your video. Infographic, right? Do you want to have someone drown in a spreadsheet, or do you want them to really get the most important thing from your content, from your data, right? Infographic is great for that. Here, you might not be using characters as much as you're using icons, and things like that, but you're definitely still telling a story visually. Finally, real look, right? For those corporate settings, or those places where you want to bring a little bit more of a professional feel, or like in our timeline template we've been looking at, you want to show real images of the story that you're telling. The real look is for you, and you've got props that go with and complement, and text overlays, all that sort of stuff that complement a real setting. So that's something to know about that. And if we're over here, we can see characters. There are tons of character sets in each one of these looks. And not only that, just going to go to a blank slide, give this kind of a neutral gray background, and I'll take this guy here. So you'll notice that each of these characters has several poses. Hello, happy, I'm happy, sad, oh man, angry, scared. All of these, laughing, all of these emotions are available. Your character doesn't need to simply be a static figure there that's right next to the text you're putting up and doesn't do anything. You can actually tell your story with how the character is moving, with the different poses that they're in, right? Applause, showing, look at this thing, holding, I've got this in my hand, chilling, yes, I can relax now, dozing, oh, don't relax that much. What happened? I don't even know. I'm confused. Oh, it's a good thing that the gravity doesn't work anymore. I guess I'll take a selfie and we will then send my boss an email about the productive day I had. I don't know, whatever story it is you're telling, you can chunk together these poses for a character to tell them in a dynamic way, to show rather than to tell, which is really amazing. And someone also wanted to know about customizing characters. Dan Nathan, I think you have a little, unless we do want to kind of just stop here, it's a moment for questions. Simon says, what? No air guitaring? No, unfortunately not yet, but I will put in the request and we'll see if our creative team adds that as opposed. But there is pointing, there's thumbs up, and I think there's a thumbs up, and I know there's a high five, Simon, so I do love a high five pose. Can we mix looks? You absolutely, this is from Diana Delgado, you absolutely can mix looks. Like I said, it's really there to help streamline and save time for you. But it is not, but you can always go into another look. In fact, even when you do a search, Dan Nathan, maybe you could just search for something real quick in the library and show us where, when you search for anything, shoe, I don't know, car, great. See there, results from all looks. It gives you first the results from the look you're in, and then it will show you the results from other looks as well. So if for whatever reason it's fine and you're not worried about sort of mixing and matching styles, then that is completely appropriate to do, and you have the option right there. And you can change the look that you're in at any time. So if there is a character that you want to use from whiteboard, like let's say, for instance, maybe in our meeting, that we see on this slide here that Dan Nathan's working on, maybe they're watching a whiteboard video. Maybe you're going to want some whiteboard characters and props up on the screen in that screen space. Well, that's something you can do by mixing the looks just like that. So I hope that answers that question. Oh man, so many questions. I love this. How do we add voice to each single slide? Suha has that question. I think we're going to try and come back to that if we have time at the end. It wasn't on our original agenda, but there's definitely much to say about audio, voiceover, all that stuff. And Dan Nathan, I think what would be really great here, just we're about 35 minutes past the hour, and we have a few more things we want to get through here. Can you show us, if I wanted to do more, if I wanted to get even more, not only do I have all these looks and all these different character families and all these different poses, can I customize these characters even further?
Well, I'm really glad you asked, Nick. The answer is yes, you can do. So continuing on from the slide that I had open before, we've got 3 characters here. So if we, for example, just grab this character here, you'll notice that there is an edit character option here. Now here on the Modern Edge look, you'll find 3 character families: Cosmo, Rhapsody, and Boho. These are 3 different families of characters that are actually editable. Okay, we provide you with a set number of characters already.
Not edible.
You can go in and use them.
Not edible.
Not edible. No.
Editable.
It's almost dinner time here in the UK, so I think I've got food on the mind. They're editable.
There you go.
And possibly edible. But yeah, so have a look through and find the ones that work for you. But we're going to use this character here that I've taken from the Boho family. In fact, we can see him there in the Boho. This character here, let's go in and edit him. Now, why might we want to do that? The character looks great already. Well, imagine this. Maybe you want to have a chat with your colleagues. You want to send a piece of a piece of internal communication around. Maybe you're making a piece of corporate communication for your colleagues, for the rest of the organization. Well, how about actually having your character look like you or look like your CEO? Perhaps maybe you want to make a birthday card for one of your members of your family. How great it is if you want to design yourself inside Powtoon and wish them happy birthday that way. So we have quite an in-depth character editor here, and you'll notice, and it's the same for male and female, that we've got different options when it comes to clothing. We've got tops, bottoms, footwear, and accessory. So we can go through and see what works for us. Maybe you want your character to be a spaceman, maybe not. Yeah, in this case, let's give him a sweater. Like everything else inside Powtoon, you have complete customization options over the colors. And again, we have an advanced color picker and color chooser there for you if you want to use it. Let's say we'd maybe want to use black in this case. Let's give this guy, looks like he might be a bit cold. Let's give him some pants as well. And let's change the color a little bit to maybe a a dark gray, something like that. Great. And you also have options here with footwear, of which you can change the colors, as well as accessories. Maybe you'd like to give him a beanie, a pair of glasses, or a cap, where we have a nice cap there. And of course, like everything else, you can also change the color of that as you need to. Let's leave it like that for the moment. Okay, let's remove the cap. The other great thing about our character builder, which I'm particularly proud of, is the ability to completely customize their face. And that also goes the same for the skin tone as well. And I'm really glad we're discussing this, because there's a lot of questions that have come out about being able to have more, or be able to demonstrate more diversity.
Yeah, we've
amongst
got
Powtoons.
questions here. Atelda Ensley has asked that. What about racial diversity options? I know
Yeah.
that there was a question earlier about that that came through. What about diversity and inclusion? Can I change the skin tone of characters? Can I crop a character? All these sorts of questions that have come up here. Also, a quick question, just to hop back for a moment on the poses. Someone mentioned, I don't see all of those poses in a free account. Not every character set has every pose available, just like not every character set is able to be edited in the character builder. So you may see some characters that have fewer poses than that, and some poses in the more advanced characters may only be available for premium accounts as well. But a good number of these poses are available on every character, even with free accounts. So I hope that that answers that question that came out. Let's see here. But this is really wonderful. Oh, Corey's asking, would there be a way to make him look like a wizard? That's a good question. I haven't tried to make a character look like a wizard yet, but what I would suspect is, currently right now that might be a little difficult. We have these options that are available, but this is, of course, this is brand new and in beta. So we're always adding to this and we're improving it as we go. So that's a really great question. And it may be that we'll be able to add accessories that you upload yourself or things like that in the future. That's not available right now. I can tell you a great workaround is to, style your character the way you want to style it. And then if there are other elements that you need to add, for instance, like a wizard cap, big fancy wizard hat or something like that, or a staff, or something, you may be able to upload those as individual image files and sort of put them together with a character. Now, you'll definitely not be able to do all of the animation things, but you can certainly work around it. And as I said, this is brand new. We've only just released this feature, and it's improving all the time. We're adding functionality and capabilities left and right. So Corey, really good question. Thank you for that. I think if it's okay with you, Dan Nathan, we have one last little section to get through here, and I'm sure this will bring up a few other questions. I know some people already were asking about some of the other capabilities that are available in the Powtoon platform. And listen, I got to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, we have really only just scratched the surface here, and that's the beauty of office hours, because we will be back in a couple of weeks to be able to answer any questions that anyone in the audience has. And this is an ongoing effort to learn together, to grow together, and to get more from the videos and visual content that we're making. If it's all right, Dan Nathan, I want to just take on over the presentation.
Sure.
And our last little section here has to do with everybody can see my my screen here, has to do with our newest extension. There's extensions, applications, integrations with other creative tools, with other workflow tools. Basically, Powtoon is more than a video maker. It's a visual communication platform. So there's another way to get more out of your videos is to recognize that connecting Powtoon to your other resources in your technology stack is a really awesome advantage as well. And one thing I want to talk about is our latest Chrome extension. If you use Google Chrome, hello, ladies and gentlemen, there I am. If you use Google Chrome, we have created Powtoon Capture. Powtoon Capture allows you to record your screen, your webcam, or both. You can choose the design of your camera window. You can, of course, deal with your particulars of your video and audio settings. You could record only your screen if you like, or your camera alone as well. All of these are options that are available for you with Powtoon Capture, and present mode, which is really great if you don't need to record what you're doing, but you do want to show your face on a video call, on a webinar, during a presentation. This is a really wonderful option for that. Let me show you how easy it is to use Powtoon Capture to record and, for instance, to give feedback to colleagues. This is a way that I use it a lot. So let's say I'm giving some feedback on the design of this Powtoon. I might just hit record, choose the screen I want to share. It's going to give me a brief countdown so that I know that I'm ready. And we're live. Hi there, I just wanted to reach out to the design team. I took a look at the Powtoon you guys created. I really love these slides with this background. It seems strange you've decided to use a video background on this slide only, and then on this slide it's a completely different color with a character we're not using. If you could just make this design more consistent, I'd really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to the team meeting later today. Talk to you soon. So then I can give my feedback to my team, and immediately Powtoon creates a player page for this capture. I can change the title right here. I can just call this design feedback, and I've got a share link. I can press play, and anyone on my team can simply watch it, can share it from here. I can share a link via email, over LinkedIn, Twitter, or Facebook. And instead of writing my feedback down, which is going to take me 25 minutes and is going to take them time to read, and honestly, that maybe something's going to get lost in translation, here is a way you can simply show, just talk and point on the screen to what you're talking about. Your audience will understand. And it's not just good for giving design feedback. That's a way that I use it a lot. But also, many people like to use it to create content, to create onboarding videos. In customer support, Dan Nathan, correct me if I'm wrong, this is a great way to give direct answers to your customers about how to do something with your platform, right? So if you're supporting customers on software, if you're inside an organization doing learning and development or IT training or anything like that, that comes in handy. And it's also just an amazing way to stay in touch when you're in a hybrid working situation or a remote working situation. There's something about that face to camera that adds a whole lot of value to an interaction, and that's something you can do. You can go to the Chrome Web Store and download Powtoon Capture Chrome extension today. It is available and it is really, really fun to use, really, really useful. Just also want to mention in the Powtoon Workspace, rather, you will also see the captures that you make show up in your My Powtoon section of the workspace. By the way, in this, see right here, design feedback, it's right there. I can download the MP4, I can view it on Powtoon, I can share a link, I can do all sorts of things here. Remember also we have Learning Center where you can connect to tutorials, webinars, and our blog, and apps and integrations. So we just talked about Powtoon Capture. We're also integrated with Canva. Do you use Canva to create designs? Well, now you can export your designs directly from Canva to Powtoon. We've got integrations with PowerPoint. I know I saw a question earlier today. Does this, let's see, Aram was asking, can this do everything that PowerPoint can do? Absolutely. In fact, you can create your PowerPoint, export it directly to Powtoon, and then enhance it with the studio, or you can embed a Powtoon you've created in an existing PowerPoint presentation. Let's talk mobile for a second. We integrate with your mobile phone as well. So if you've got an Android phone, you can go to the Google Play Store. If you've got an iPhone, you can go to the App Store and you can download Powtoon Connect. It's our companion app, and it allows you to basically turn your phone into an extension of the Powtoon library. You can upload video, you can upload images. You can record voiceover. I know that I said we'd get back to voiceover stuff in a minute. That's also another way to do that there. So do check out, and you can also play and share your Powtoons mobilely there. Please also check out Google Drive. Do you use Google Drive to organize your files and things like that? This will integrate with Powtoon as well, so that your workflow makes sense and you can manage things in the interface that works best for you. So these are my the things I wanted to share about apps and integrations, and I think that combined with the character tips we learned, that combined with the design tips we very briefly went over today, but that we learned. And also, I don't know if you guys saw, we sent a couple of videos at the end of last week to talk about building a stronger brand, to talk about making your videos more engaging. All of these, it's just the beginning of the things you can learn to communicate visually more effectively. I do want to just circle back and get any other questions people have. Dan, Nathan, if you saw a question coming out, I know that we've got a question here from Omri who's saying, will there be a recording? Yes, there will be a recording of this webinar. Don't you worry, you will be able to go over it. Is the capture video public? Because if I give feedback, I don't want anyone to see the video, Brigitte is mentioning. I know that, Dan, Nathan, you might know something about this. I know that on our business platform, you can secure, be sure that only people inside your organization have access to your captures. But also, it's only available, I believe they're not searchable. I think they only show up from someone who directly has the link. Brigitte was asking that there.
Yeah, just to answer that question, it depends on what type of subscription or plan you have with Powtoon. If you're a free user, anything that you publish in Powtoon, including the capture, will be indexed on search engines like Google, Yahoo, so on and so forth. But if you are a premium member, whether you're a Pro or Pro Plus or agency, when you're publishing your Powtoon, you have the option of keeping it private, which means it will not be searchable on any search engines.
Great. Yeah, great. Jane is asking us, I missed it. Can you show me where to get Powtoon Capture? Yes, I can. Go to the Google Chrome web store, chrome.google.com/web store, or you can just search on Google Powtoon Capture, and that will get you to this page. Or you can search on the Chrome store for Powtoon or Powtoon Capture. This is what the screen looks like. You can, it's already installed in mine, obviously, so that's, I would have to remove it. This got a little bit of an overview. There's also a video here that shows you exactly how to use it. So hopefully, Jane, that answers that question. I know that Simon is asking, is this an alternative to tools like Loom, or does it only work on views of Powtoon? Simon, it works on any page you're showing in your Chrome browser. So it works with Chrome, works just like Loom that way. Although I would say Loom, as far as I know, doesn't have a present mode. And we also are planning, should be released sometime soon. I think I'm allowed to say this. I think I will say this, whether I'm allowed to or not. You will be able to directly work with a capture in the Powtoon Studio soon, which also is a feature that Loom doesn't have. So that you can add text overlays, a character if you want, other things like that. And in fact, you could do that today. If I just hop back to the workspace, it just takes a little workaround here. But if I look in my Powtoons, and you see on a Powtoon, you can download as MP4. It's a little bit of a step, but you can download it and then import that MP4 as a background video in a Powtoon project. So that's another workaround that'll get you there, but I believe that that's going to be an integrated capability very, very soon. All right. Let's see if we had any other questions here.
We did have a question I very much wanted to answer.
Yeah.
It was asked a little while ago by Abraham, I believe. And Abraham, I just find your question. Abraham says, is it possible to make the character move from one end to another as if he is walking into the office? Nick, if I can just take over control just for a minute or so.
If you want.
I'd like to show Abraham and everyone else.
Do it.
In fact, how to do that. Okay.
Please do.
Great stuff. So here we are back in my studio again. So Abraham is saying, how can we make a character walk in an office, if you like, from one side of the office to the other. So what we'll do is we'll just open up this scene just so we've got a bit of context to it, and we'll have this character here, let's say. Okay, this is a character who's sitting. What we'd like to do is, in fact, I think he's in a house rather than an office, but no problem at all. What we'd like to do in this case is have the character walking. So we can see there's a walking pose here, and here we go. Here's that character. So what we can do here is have him maybe start slightly off the screen here to give the impression that he's walking on. Click on the settings wheel, and using the A to B, just like Nick showed you a little while ago, we can have him move from, let's say, the end to the middle of the screen. And you'll notice when you select A to B, you'll also have a second timeline function here, which allows you, this slider, to adjust how long it takes this character to go from A to B. In this case, we'd like it to take him maybe 2 seconds. So we'll play the scene back from the beginning, and there's that character who walks on. So that's how you can get them to go from walking on, and you can have them walk on all the way off the screen or have them stop in the middle of the screen. It's really up to you, but that certainly is possible. And you can take that further into how you see yourself using Powtoon, and you can manipulate many shapes and characters and assets using A to B.
Beautiful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. I do want to just take back the presentation for a moment so that we can close things up. And I do want to thank you all again for joining us. Thank you, Dan Nathan, for allowing me to crash your office hours. Remind me, when is the next office hours webinar happening?
The next one is on April the 14th.
April the 14th. So take a look, check your email. Oh, yes, email. That's what I wanted to mention. Take a look at your inbox, because you will receive a recording of this webinar to watch on demand, to share far and wide with the people in your circle. If there's anybody who you think could really benefit from this, or, please do share it. We're very, very happy to help anyone get access to these capabilities so they can get more from their videos, get more from their communication. And after all, if you want to communicate more, you got to communicate visually with Powtoon, the visual communication platform. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful rest of your week.